All right, here we
Hello.
go. Good morning, Peter. How are you?
Good morning, Tamara. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely great.
Good.
Yes. And yourself?
Good. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm about Facebooked out.
You're in?
I've had enough of Facebook.
Oh, all right. And you're just getting started.
Oh my God.
Tell me what's going on.
Oh no, I was just doing commenting, inviting, getting on groups, talking to people, starting conversations. Very, very few people want to interact. A couple of people told me to stop contacting them. But anyway, I got my four by, I think I got the fourth one on Friday or Saturday. And then I reviewed a couple of our talks, and then I reviewed their talks and typed up the comments, which I sent you, which I haven't looked at or studied yet or anything else. And I have three more to do. But I tried following the questions as I have them written down, but the conversation doesn't lead to that. The conversation leads to other possibilities coming up. So you ask out of order, or you ask it another way, which is fine. So the people that have responded have been fine. Two of them have this very weird app that takes away the background. It's an app on the phone that you can put whatever, you can have like 3 or 4 backgrounds that you put behind your head.
All right, it's the Zoom, yes.
But the head keeps vanishing. The focus is not clear. It's very, very strange. It looks very unprofessional. I'm thinking, if I was not doing market research, but if you were prospecting me, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, because it looks unprofessional. It looks cheesy. Oh. Have you seen it?
Yeah, there is a lot of people who use the background. I think now with the paid version of Zoom, let me see. You can.
Well, they say they have it on their. They say they have it on their phone, and they can just choose which app to choose, so they can put a photo in there or something, you know.
So something like this. Let me just do it right now. And it's like whatever. I've never tested it because it's not my. You see?
Yeah, like that. But then what happens is you lose the clarity. So you keep the edge of your profile keeps moving.
Yeah, it's so
and it vanishes and then comes back into focus. So it's very strange. Yeah, that's exactly it. It seems like it's a fairly new thing that hasn't been mastered yet.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yes, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not
so
the
what's going on. So I've commented on groups. I've asked questions on one particular group. When I went to ask another question, they wouldn't post it. I didn't follow up to ask why. I don't want to make a nuisance of myself, and you know. So that's that. What was common observation was that everybody does it totally different.
Oh, okay.
Everybody does it totally different, and for the most part, people are very loyal to their companies, and so they're loyal to their companies. And the challenge is there is no system for monitoring the lower level workers other than they put the system in themselves, and they have the due diligence to follow up with the person. So for example, one person had put they set they do goals and then numbers, so the people have to commit. So the new recruits, if you will, or the downline, have to commit to whatever number they use, whatever metrics they're using. So they say, I'm going to make 10 phone calls and invite 2 people to the meeting or the opportunity or whatever. So let's say 10 phone calls, 2 invites. I don't know what exactly that means, but for example. So now what they do is they have to report those numbers in and say that they have done those numbers. But that is a system, but it's an individual system up to an individual leader and to how deep they go. I tried to find out how they know which ones to follow. And the general feeling is that I get is that they pretty much self-identify. Nobody wants to waste time with the people that are not the bullshitters, the people that are they're just wasting time. But they're happy to, I mean, some people have gone down many levels if they see somebody that is doing what they say they're going to do, and they will work alongside them or do three-way calls with them, or, you know, do whatever that they need with them. So it's up to the individual, and it seems none of them like to waste time. Any of them will do anything to help people who need help in the line. But it's up, once again, it's entirely up to the individual and how they, you know, how they set their goals.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I suppose. So when I asked about personality styles, I was told there's one lady, she said she knew of one person who does personality styles. She said, but otherwise it didn't seem like everybody agreed that people learn differently, that people are different. There's different types of people, but there's still only one way.
Mm-hmm.
Another observation was that a lot of the leaders that I spoke to, most people I spoke to were fairly high up, was that they are sometimes challenged a little bit by their company having the procedures. So the company put together the procedures. They say you must say this or do that. They have a procedure, and the people that I spoke to often like to do it their way.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the same when I was doing training with companies. The CEO has one expectation, then the vice presidents all agree, then the vice presidents go back to their divisions and they do it their way.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know, now I'm not saying which way is right or which way is wrong. I'm just sharing that as an observation. That's all.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So from what I've read through what you were saying, and I see a lot of like all of these dealing with, I see it repeatedly. Now your goal, like, let me tell you what you were gonna look at when you were analyzing your notes. You're gonna look for repetitive patterns. For example, why they have so many tire kickers.
Yeah.
Right? There is a lot, like most of the answers here are like they have an image of who they want, but most of their organization is people who are not taking action. Why is that? Do you know how to solve that?
Yeah.
I know from my perspective, right, knowing the market and doing the research, but now do you feel that you can have a solution for that problem? And how that would affect their productivity if they improve the quality of the people they enroll for maybe 60%? You see what I mean? So if there is a cost.
No, I know what you mean. I have a challenge in my own head because I'm not sure. So I have to make a separation of solution and problem. And as I'm trying to think too much all at once instead of break it down. And I think when I go over the notes, I can then write down the questions and then answer the questions, because when you write it laser focuses your thinking, because there's no other thought getting in the way of a written question once you've written it down. So the writing is a powerful thing. But currently I'm thinking the biggest challenge is I think people are just not honest when they're recruiting. Now, I could be wrong. I have no real evidence, but it seems to me that everybody's saying, yes, people quit or people give the bullshit, and they know they have to overcome fears. And that's something that can be dealt with if the desire is big enough. But just like you said with me at the beginning, when we first started doing this, you need to have some earnest money. You need to have some skin in the game. These people have got no skin in the game. And when I asked everybody their motivation, nearly everybody said their back was against the wall. They lost their main job. They jumped in feet first. They had to I mean, one lady borrowed when she started out. She borrowed. She started out with £500 with product with I forget the company, but the product she had to put in her garage when she started, and so she did that, and then she had 2 kids. Her husband had left her. She had no alimony, no support. She was doing an MBA at university in Rhode Island, and she said, I had to make it. I was doing 3 jobs, and her goal was get down to 1 job, so she's not running around between. And that 1 job she chose to focus on was network marketing. That was it. And so she made it work, and she would walk into shops and just cold call and make her presentation with a flip chart in front of people. And then she realized the only way she's going to make more money is to get to the next level. To get to the next level, you had to sell 2,500 worth of product. I'm going back to maybe the 80s. So, so she borrowed money from all of her family from different places to get that 2,500 product, which she was selling. She was moving, but that way she got up. So when she recruited other people, she was getting the bigger markup. And then sometimes if someone was really close, because the way they did it, if you needed, let's say $500 of sales to qualify, if someone was at 450, she would help them with the other 50 to with the sales to get them up to the level, you know, to get to the next position, which would help them and then help her, and then she'd work with them to make sure they qualify every month. But another person said they worked 90-hour days, 7 days a week for 9 months before things started turning around. Another lady I spoke to, she was in real estate, and she's a top lady, Charlotte Snow, and she said, look, I worked for 2 years before this business started coming together. So they all tell you their not hard luck stories, that's not the right word. They all tell you how hard they worked at the beginning to make their business. But the people coming in are not getting that picture.
Yeah, they think it's an easy way out.
They're seeing you can do this, you can do this. Well, I believe in under promise and over deliver. And so I believe that you need to say, look, you might have to work 2 years solid at this. So you're going to make a decision. Are you all in or all out? Now, if you don't want to do that, you can do a few sales and talk to friends, and it will pay for your product, and you might make some money to go out for a nice dinner or to get some champagne or a nice wine or something. But if you want to make it a business, it's going to take some work, hard work. It's very possible. It's very doable. You don't need a degree. You don't need anything else. You need hard work.
You need to learn skills. Yeah, you don't need a degree, but you need to learn skills. And that skills.
Of course, everywhere has to. Yeah.
I was saying that yesterday to our community of people, and I was saying, like, everybody who's telling you just need to sell the product or share the product, it's lying to you. That's not true. Because if it was about the product, everybody would have been rich. The products are awesome, but they're not enough. You have to develop skills, and that's the skill of marketing, that's the skill of sales, that's the skill of communication, of promotions, of organization, of everything. Like, there is like so many moving parts into your business that being a simple product promoter, like, hey, buy this mouse from me, that's not going to work. Like, there is so much supply from the same product that you pushing a product, it's not enough. So when I was in the beginning in network marketing, I felt a huge lack of leadership, of someone who can tell me how to build a business. Like, these people were so into their, like, small world. They were not, like, yeah, it will happen. Well, it will not happen by itself. Like, success, Peter, everything has a process. There is nothing, extraterrestrial inside of the success. It's just incremental improvement on your skill sets and your mental toughness. That's it. Yep. There is exactly. Like, if you have a process that you follow and you do that every single day, and then, of course, you're not going to be on your optimal performance every single day, but let's say 60 to 70% of the time you do that every single day, there is no way why things will not work. So now, what is that process? How does it look like? And then putting that into your head, like having that mindset to follow through, because where the people are falling off the wagon is that they will not follow through because they have to go against themselves, against the limited beliefs, against the lack of organization, the lack of prioritization. They are forgetting about the blueprint. They start to, waste time. They will not establish routines. They will not schedule their time. Like all of these things that make things happen, it's what you can bring to the market. And it goes beyond of like and also what you can bring on top of that is qualifying these people even before they start. So I can give you, like some things that I personally use to qualify people. If making money is not priority to them, and that goes in the sales call, that would be probably the in the future chapters, but I want to equip you with something that you can start using right now. So you have to qualify these people when it comes to yourself, right? So tomorrow when you work with someone, you want to know if, for example, you want to know why they started doing what they're doing. How does that look like, what they're selling, and like how much money they're making from that product or service.
Say that again, please. Sorry,
the first thing is to know why they're doing what they're doing.
And this is for who? This is for the people that I talk to?
Well, also for you, but also for the people, for you to coach them, right? So you have to help them. When you give them solution to these people, you will also
Hold on,
help
I'm
them.
lost. I'm lost. So I'm not clear. Who am I talking to? You said tomorrow.
So this is for you when you're going to go on those sales calls and you're looking for your own clients, but you can also leverage this and teach these people to pre-qualify the people they're bringing into their organization so they don't have headaches. Right? So the process is the same. When you want to work with someone like you, for example, when I ask you what is your why, you told me your beautiful story and the lifestyle you want and why you want it. So I knew there is a skin in the game. I knew that something, you want to change something. And when you told me, like it's a priority, I really want to start making those 10K or 5K, your goal was 5K in the next 90 days. I knew that someone committed is in front of me, right? So we have to know what are the goals of these people and when they want to achieve those goals. And that's something these people don't put a frame around that, right? So knowing why people do what they do, knowing when they want it and how committed they are to follow through, that's already a good sign to see. And I have given you this inside of the the quick guide.
3.4, I think.
No, actually, it's the Tamara breakthrough strategy. This is something that I use when I onboard people, but the questions are exactly what you want. Let me just share the screen. What you want to be answered even before you start working with someone. So why they do what they do, how coachable they are, how excited they are about learning new skills, how committed they are, also from 1 to 10. How much time per week they're gonna do this? How much money they wanna make in the 90 days? Sorry. Are they going to reach out for help?
Right.
This is your commitment. This is the people where you're gonna, like, I don't understand why would someone spend their time with someone who is not committed. I don't even go on a call with someone when I ask them, because when I prospect people, I got my game on a very higher level, and I'm asking questions and I'm qualifying them on Messenger. I don't even book a call with someone who is not ready to change their situation.
Yeah.
And I go through the process. I ask, I ask questions. So why are you doing what you're doing? Like to get a little bit of knowing of why they started in network marketing or any other business. If they're coaching consultant and I want them for my coaching business, right? Then I'm asking a little bit even deeper questions, and then I say like, all right, and then I want to understand what's standing on the way, right? So if they start to blame someone else, well, the people are stupid, they don't follow through, this is it, they are not seeing the real problem that's inside of them, which is not executing, which is not doing the things they need to be doing. Like I will be giving you the high ticket closing strategies in the next chapters, right? But the market research needs to be very, very simple. So for you to be able to start putting your offer in place, right? And this is the chart I have given you as well. The problems you solve, you have to be able to list them. how you solve those problems, the process. The problems your clients have, now you see it. People dropping off, they're not serious, they're this and that, they don't have a system of duplication, or whatever the problems you have picked up, right? So you're gonna start filling this chart. And then you want to understand the impact those problems have. This is where the money, this is where the game starts. Like, this is the reality of the things. Because if there is a problem, let's say I have a toothache. Okay, today it's here, tomorrow it's not here. But if that toothache makes me lose a $300,000 deal because I cannot get to the work, then I gotta make it removed right now, right? So what's in the game? What's the skin in the game, right? You gotta understand what's the implication of that problem. And also how much is costing them. So the implication and the cost, it's a little bit the same thing. It could have implications on the health, the relationships, and the wealth, but also in terms of money, how much is that costing them? So for example, Peter, if we don't put your offer today in place and we don't start making money by the end of maybe the next 2 weeks, then we are not attaining our goals, right? So now we have a pressure, we have impact on our engagement, on our plan, right? So now we have like an urgency to act, right? To go and collect that information and put the offer in place and start the beta testing, right? Everything has a price, everything has a cost. So if this is not urgent here, if for me it's not urgent to help my team recruit few more people so I can also hit the $2,000 level per month this week, next week, then it's not important to me. So people without goals, they will not take action. People with goals and people who are interested and their goals are urgent to them, and there is a cost on their health and wealth and relationship, then these people will take action, right? So now the goal is, when you put this into the chart and you start to focus on what is the most urgent problem to solve for them that you can solve, right? And you have a way how to solve it. This is where the money will come from the market, because these people will pay you to solve that urgent problem. Starts to make sense right now?
Yeah, I have one question.
Yes.
So I understand what you're saying there, but I'm not seeing myself in a position. So who am I? I'm developing this for some service that I am delivering, but I'm not quite clear on who I'm delivering that to. Am I delivering that to the top people? Is this something am I gearing it to the entry level person? That's where I'm.
That's a very important question. So let me go back to something that I have shared with you before. So I will just go back here. Go back here, and I will open this one, and I will give you. I want to show you this polarized positioning. I think it's here. No, not this one. Not this one. I think it's the one before. I think it's this one. So this is very important, Peter, and this is something I have given you in the previous categories. So you want to make sure who you want to serve, and you also have to make sure if these people are amateurs, professionals, juniors. If they are, for example, let's look at this example here I have given. So the category is health and fitness. The niche is who? Football player. What? Athletic performance. Someone who can deliver bigger athletic performance for football players, right? You could be a performance coach, high performance coach for football players, right? Whatever, if you like that niche and if you want to help them. Now, the specific results is I help. Now, this is very important. Football players increase their performance. How? Via breathing technique, right? So that's the specialty of this coach, high performance coach, who can help these people increase their performance. Now, the level of implication the football player will have will depend on his implication in the game. If they are a junior, they will not spend money on a high level performance coach. If they're professional, they will. If they're amateur, probably not, right? So it's the same thing with your network marketers. I help network marketers, team leaders. I help team leaders in network marketing increase their performance via structural, like very structured productivity system, right? Like plug and play productivity system, whatever your system would be, right?
Yeah.
So you have the solution, your expertise is your how. How they are going to increase the performance is the what, the result they want, right? They want more duplication, they want bigger downlines. This is really important. These things what I have given you, it's not for us to have a general idea. It's really to go and dive deep, like who I'm serving to achieve what and how, right? So this is where this is so important. It's on the third part, in the picking the niche. So you will be able to put this together after you finish the research. So you will know exactly where is our chart. You will know exactly which problem you're solving, your process, your expertise, how you're solving it, just because you know that it's urgent for them, right? So people will say, I want more money, but there is always more than money, right? There is always like impact on health, wealth, and relationships, and a lifestyle in general, right? So if you help them solve that problem that impacts every area of their life via your expertise, you have positioned yourself with the category of one with no competition. But this is the skin in the game. You have to identify those problems these people have, find a pattern. Where is your notes here? Find a pattern that repeats itself, and then you see, if you ask these questions simply, like let's go to the chart and see, like I think even if with 5 questions, it's really simple. Can I ask you some questions around, you know, would you be comfortable to, and you can, like, the approach can be very simple. Hi, my name is Peter. I'm performance expert or focus expert. I'm conducting, I want to put a training for the network marketing niche, and I wonder if you're open to you know, like, to help me with answer a couple of questions, right? And they will say yes, sure. And you don't want to send those big paragraphs of introduction and so on, because people don't read, especially on social media. They are so busy. The less you say, and the most impactful is. So hey, thank you so much for connecting. I'm a performance coach, send. I'm putting together a training around higher performance in network marketing. I wonder if you would be open to answer 2 or 3 questions, send, right? So smaller pieces. If they say yes, fantastic. If they say no, doesn't matter, next. And then when they answer the question, when you are on the call, you simply want to know, hey, what product are you putting on the market? How much does it cost? And then you ask them if they will be comfortable to answer some of the financial questions, right? Financially, how can I say, questions that are around finances, right? And they will say that, yeah, sure, they want to support you, they will tell you. And you say like, okay, sure, so tell me what are your goals, right? What do you want to achieve in the next 6 months, in the next 3 months, right? So how much your program would be, right? Like maybe it will be 3 months or 6 months program, right? So you're going to answer the question according to that. And maybe 3 months, it's the great question to ask. So what are your goals in the next 3 months or 6 months if your program is on 6 months? They will tell you. And you say like, okay, so that's fantastic. And then tell me, if you don't mind, where is business right now, right? Now they tell you if they have a gap, they will tell you, like if they want $10,000, but they're at $3,000, there is a $7,000 gap they don't know how to bridge right now. In the next 6 months, they will not know neither. If not, they would already have been in 10 months. So what they're doing right now to get to 3,000, it will not work to get to 10,000. And that's something you have to know from personal experience as well, right? It's not the same mindset, nor productivity that can take them there. And this is high ticket closing in real life. It's not only knowing what to say on the call, it's knowing what the market wants from the beginning, right? So now you have a gap and you say like, okay, so can you tell me? And now you're looking for this. Can you tell me, what do you personally think is standing on the way from you to get to your goal? Right? Now you're looking really deep into the problem. And they will tell you, oh, well, I don't have duplication. People are dropping off. They're not motivated. They will never say it's their fault because they don't see it anymore now. And your guidance as a consultant will be to bring them to your solution, right? It's not to sell them on something else and say like, hey, do a research there. It's like to open their horizons and say, hey, if you continue doing this, what you're doing, and you know, like the 99% come from not knowing your avatar, not knowing how to set a system of productivity to estimate if these people are committed and so on and so forth, like all those solutions you can provide, then you're definitely gonna struggle. Do you want me to show you a framework, right? And then you can, when you have the framework, you can go back and say like, hey, I'm back with you. I want to show you the framework. You're doing research in the same time, and you're preparing these people that you're going to pitch them with in a polite way. You understand what I'm saying, Peter?
No, because I'm asking the questions, and then you went to the framework. What? I don't know what the framework is.
All right. So the framework will be your solution, right?
Okay. So I need the solution before I call to the people.
You don't offer anything. You just tell them when you start to go with, you know, on the research, you want to make it as simple as possible, right? Because these questions are great, but again, I don't, you know, like I want you to be as efficient as you can be. And I didn't wanted to talk to you about the high ticket closing before we get there, but I feel it's more, it will bring you more clarity if you use the same process on discovering these people on the call before you even get with them on the call. Does this make sense to you?
What I've been doing is asking people to connect, and they get on the Zoom call, and you're saying I need to qualify them before they do the Zoom call?
No, that's something else. We will talk about that when we are prospecting for sales. These are
right.
The people
I'm not talking about sales. I'm still talking about research. I haven't even got to sales yet. Sales is not on my horizon yet.
But
no, I don't have. It's not even in my. I don't have anything to sell yet.
Yeah.
So.
But this is the process that will make your research way easier. So we can have those problems your expertise can solve. If we don't fill in this here, if we don't know what are the problems they have and the impact their problems have, and tell us about the urgency, these people will never take action on your offer.
Right, but I don't know where the framework is. When you said, and then you go and get your framework. All right, so
that's just a detail. Let's forget about that, right? The first thing first is, can I, you know, like ask you a couple of questions, because I'm putting this training together for the blah, blah, blah niche, for the network marketing niche, productivity training, whatever that is. You can name it as you want. Would you be open to answer 2 or 3 questions? I will highly appreciate that. Bam, we send that. If they say yes, sure. Then you say, all right, cool. So tell me, first of all, you want to know what the business they have. Tell me, you know, like what is it that you're selling and what's the price point? They will tell you. Maybe it's creams, lotions, and potions, whatever that is, and around $200, $300. Yeah. And then you say like, okay, perfect. Would you mind if I ask you some financial related questions? Now you want to know the gap. You want to go and explore the problem, because if they don't have a financial goal, they will not take action on anything, right? And they will say like, sure, why not? You ask them about, okay, so what is it that you're trying to achieve in the next 6 months, right? If your program will be 6 months coaching, whatever that is, they will tell you. And if you say like, okay, so please help me understand where the business is right now, they will tell you. And there is a gap. They want 10,000 and they're making 3,000. Now there is a gap here. And you say like, oh, right, I see. So can you please help me understand, what do you personally feel stands on your way, right? And they will tell you. Now they will list all the problems. You're catching that. That's what you want, all those problems. And you can even insert the question and you say like, if you look at all those problems that you have listed, what do you feel is the most urgent one? Then you you defined exactly what is the urgent problem they want to solve. Right? And now you have, you know, now you want to test their awareness. And you say like, okay, so having this problem, you see that problem, having this problem about not closing sales, how does that affect your business? They will give you the implication. And this is your, like, this will take you to the next level where you're going to have insight of how to create content, what is affected in their lives. So you say, oh, you think you, and then it will help you also change perspectives, because if they have closing sales problem, they don't have the right audience, or they don't know how to organize their time. So they waste time with unqualified prospects. If you can help them how to qualify prospects and get in front of the right people, you can solve their problem, which is at the back end, and that's closing sales, right?
Yeah.
And if you find now problems that repeat themselves and they're really urgent for these people to solve, then you will be able to create your offer that's going to put you with your expertise in the category of one where you don't have competition, because 99% of people will not do the research.
99% of people will not
go so deep on the research. Like, you do this for almost 2 weeks, and that's like the average, right? That's the minimum time you should be putting in the research. And if you do it, for example, 8 hours a day, which is not possible because you have to stay on the call or on Messenger all the day. But let's say if you do that for 2 weeks, 8 hours a day, that's the good way to go about that, because you need to speak with these people. You need to extract information from them.
Yeah.
Right? And all of these questions that you are using here, they're all relevant in what we were talking about. But I feel that it kind of sidetracks you. Maybe it's a little bit more advanced, right? And it's more about having a general idea of what's going in the industry. Now I want you to go a step deeper and apply this process here. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Because what we have here, it's more general. It's a general insight of the industry, and you're hearing their stories, and you're 1 hour on the phone. But I don't see you putting the things here, right? So let's reframe that research. Let's reframe the approach and start with what is the business? You can write this down. What is the business and how much they sell, right? What they're offering to the people. Then if you will ask a permission to ask some financial related questions, they will give you a permission. You will ask what is the goal in the next 6 months or 3 months. Then you will ask what's standing on their way, right? What they think is personally a challenge. And then you will say, like, of those challenges that they are going to tell you, what do they feel is the most urgent one? What they would want to solve right away. And they will tell you. And this is like the best research you can do if you follow this simple chart, right?
Yeah.
And they will tell you what is the most urgent, and then then you're gonna look at the impact, and you say, like, can you help me understand, if not solving this problem, what has been affected, right? And they will tell you, oh, I cannot see my husband, I have to travel over the day, I'm out or on Messenger all the day, I have to babysit people who are not interested. Now you're getting, in their head, in their lives, and this is the problems you can solve. And then you ask the final questions. If you don't solve that problem, what are the implications financially on your business? Now you get them see a big problem. They are like, oh my God, like, this is huge, right?
Yeah.
And now they know that you might have a problem. And you say, like, and what I will teach you to do later on, not right now, and say, like, okay, so when I complete the research, I will give you, you say, I will circle back, and I will give you, booklet of what, like, how to go about this, and that will be your framework. That will be your solution, right? Yeah. How you solve that problem, why is that affecting them, and how you can help them in the process without being salesy and fun. You see now how this works, Peter?
Yeah. So I'm using so I know I need to do more questioning, but I understand now how to zero in the questioning to this. So I will rewrite the questions, and then I will get more people to ask them those questions specifically to this chart. I will work on identifying their most urgent problem and what it is costing them. And then when I do the final report has somewhat of the solution in there for them. So this is what we found, this is what we would do, or this is what we would suggest. But it's almost like... We
will leave the report for now away. We need to create your offer. Once you get the information from the market, we stop there. Only on the last question, you say, you have been very helpful, thank you very much. I will circle back and give you, like, my report. like just to make
Yeah.
sure that you're going to touch base with them. You keep the door open and you leave that aside for now. And then we go back with that research and we put your offer in place. And that's why this is so powerful. Like if you look at this chart, you will not understand anything. But if you look at the processes we have been working so far and so deeply, and now I have given you a very effective research frame. If you do follow that with 5 people, everything you have collected here will start to make sense. You will see why these people have this problem, not only what the problem is, but understand the reason. And when you understand the reason and you have a process to solve that problem in the genesis where they start, then you are suddenly an expert. They will pay a lot of money. Because they're not
right.
like this. To me, when I read this, it's a very surface for them. They just believe that it's outside world. I'm always looking for the person who will make more. How this person will make more if I don't give them the blueprint, if I don't give them the strategy, if I don't give them the steps to follow, right? So their answers are very surface level. We haven't got here. We haven't understand the real problem, the urgency to solve which of these problems is the most urgent, and then the impact that it has and how that costs them financially, because there is always a cost. And if you reverse engineer, here is where your positioning is. Like this Peter alone, it's a $5,000 advice. I'm telling you, nobody is giving you this advice on the market, and I definitely encourage you to go and do this, because this will tie your offer together.
So so this is most of the people I have been talking to are the people who I see on the throughout Facebook, and they're the most of them are the fairly high level people. So most of them are making at least 6 figures a year, if not more. Is that my target?
Well,
because they seem to know what they're doing, and they seem to be.
You can move people from, I definitely believe that people who are already making maybe $1,000 or $2,000 per month with their marketing business and want to hit 6 figures, they also can be your targeted audience. They have the money, they're hungry, they are probably been struggling for
Right.
2 years to get to 2,000. Now the idea to get to 10,000 and have a system that is duplicatable, they will pay $2,000 for your consulting. So you can find those who are making $3,000 to $5,000 per month, and because when you ask the question, you know they're your targeted audience. How much are you making? How much you want to make? And most of the people inside of the network marketing industry, they want to hit 10,000, and they have no idea how to do that. So if you are that person who can bring them to six figures per month with your system, you just put yourself in
right. But I just don't know. I see that, and I'm not sure how to identify them until I get them and ask them the questions of how much they're making and what their goals are.
The question. Exactly.
Right, but I have to find them. I have to find them to ask the question. And when I go on Facebook, I either get the people who have the group or the people who have the page and the fan page, which are the well-known people, you know, like the Ray Higdons and these kind of people. And so I go down there, and then I see a whole bunch of people that contribute. So now I've got to somehow find out which one of those are from entry level, unless I just send everybody an invite and say, look, I'm doing this research, and only deal with those that respond.
Exactly. You just do that. Like, don't send cold messages to people in their inbox, more than 9 messages in every 2 or 3 hours. Just and not the same message, because Facebook will block you. But just make sure you connect with these people and you start conversations, and you ask them a genuine conversation. Hey, you know, like, you don't have to go directly, hey, you know, like, I'm doing this research, give me your information. You can start a communication.
No.
Like, hey,
I think that the vast majority of people are suspicious and they're not going to respond, because I've been doing that and I've been tracking that and I've been following up. However, in doing that, there are those that respond straight away and say, yes, they would love to help. And so only one person has ever given me any references to other people, which was the first guy, Hong. And everyone else says they will, but you know, they don't. And anyway, that's by the by. So, okay, so I can just go to these pages and I can have like 3 or 4 different messages that I can send out. I just do so many, like 6 an hour or something, you know, and then I can do that throughout the day and see who responds. Once people respond, then I pre-qualify them with those questions. Now, you're going to send me this recording, aren't you, afterwards?
Yes,
so that
I will. Yes.
I can play it back and type up those
I will,
questions.
yes.
So I will do that. And then that way I will, that way I'll only focus on these questions. So the calls will only take, will take much less time.
Exactly. So you will, when you focus on this, we will understand what is the urgent, I know the most urgent problem in network marketing, but it's not to me to give you the answer, right? Right. It will not help you. It will not give you the insight of the market that you can do by listening these people, recording those recordings, and you know, like filtering the problems, the urgency of the problems, and what is affected. If the urgency of the problem is duplication, right? They don't have duplication and they want to hit a rank, and they have been spending 2 years to hit a certain rank, and now they're going to lose the car. They're not only, and get back to your, what I have been teaching you all the way back, right? So that's why I have been preparing this for you. So first of all, when you have the mindsets, I think it was the business of you and the motivations. Yes. So here people have the desire of affiliation, of power, of achievement. So when you hear this person here, where we were, they say, for 2 years they have been working and now they're going to lose the car as a bonus. They are like shaken as a person. Their personal motivations have been shaken away. These people will lose identity if they lose the car. It's very serious, right? And this comes from understanding human nature. It doesn't come from only being a network marketer. It's understanding all these elements, that this is not here on a surface level. This is to be able to connect the dots. These conversations you're going to have with someone who will tell you that they will lose the car, or their mom will have to go back. Sorry? Peter?
Internet. So I saw that the icon showed me the internet was gone. So I don't know why. It happens.
Problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where did we stop?
Well, we were going around, and what I was going to do when I'm calling these people, and then qualify the people, and then do what I needed to do. And we were looking at, we were talking about these
the meta motivators. So people will do things that are, you know, like, for example, physiological. Why they want to make money? Because they have physiological needs that need to be met. They have to eat, and they have to be in a safe place, right? So they will have to go, like all these people who had the back against the wall. What does it mean? They have to satisfy these things of that are existential for the person, right? So whenever you are talking to these people, you have to connect the dots. You say, like, okay, so these people want affiliation. Why most of the people want to get the bonus or the car or the trip? Just because they want to be seen differently, and social achievement and social status, right? This is so powerful. It's one thing to have a cognition on this. It's another thing to find it into people, right? And this is how you can, like, really dive into these people and understand them, and really go to the next level and be the person to go to solve their problems. Because if you're just another coach, they will not care. But if you have that deep understanding of their impact of their problems, and you can communicate that through your message, through the way you speak to these people, they will always want to spend money on whatever product or service you have. because when you understand someone and such a deep level of why they do things, why they are doing, and your products and services can solve that problem, there is no way why these people will not pay you and see you as the only solution on the market. Does this make sense, Peter?
Yeah, it does. I'm just every time we do this, I struggle with what my actual solution will be for these people, like these $2,000 a month earners that want to get up to $10,000 a month. So
and this is like, I cannot get, you know, I cannot answer that question without knowing exactly what problems you're able to solve from the problems here and how you do that. And if that problem, it's like selling more products, and if that's not important, which is, but let's just say it's not that important, and you have only a process to solve that problem, there is no way you will become the go-to person, right? So we have to make sure that what the problem solves, what your way to solve that problem, it's maybe it solves maybe other 10 problems that are super urgent and super have a big impact on their businesses, right? So now your expertise here and how we're gonna do those modules will, you have to give me that information, but I need the information from the market to be able to put that together and to get your positioning on the next level. Does this make sense?
I got it. I got it, yeah.
Because when you hear someone saying to you, well, I don't have duplication, what does it comes to mind? Can you solve that problem or not? Do you know what they're missing? Where is the genesis? Where is the cause of that problem, right? Because if you know that the cause of not having duplication is maybe first, they don't know audience, that's something I know how to solve. They don't know their audience. So they're talking to everybody and not interested people. So I can solve that problem. That's the first step, knowing your audience. So they are more efficient, right? So they will not waste time and money on that. If not having enough duplication means also, when you ask, like, can you tell me more about that? What's affected? You will know what's affected and you will know more about the causes. And here also, between the urgency of the problem, you can slip in the fourth question, and that would be, can you help me understand the reason for that problem? So you will identify if they have the reason or not. So between here and here, you have two questions to add: the reason for the problem and the urgency of solving that problem. How urgent it is, which one of these problems is most urgent to you. So now you're identifying those problems. And when you have all of those questions answered, there is no way why you will not be able to fill in this chart and then attack the processes, how you're gonna solve those problems through your expertise. You're a little bit confused now, right?
Yeah, I mean, once the problems become clear, then I can give my input. So we just have to clarify exactly what's causing the problems. And I would imagine it's different for each one, but if I'm working with an individual, then I can help them identify it. One of the things that's going through my mind at the moment is that when I talk to these people and I ask them what they think the cause of the problem is, I haven't had much in terms of, it's almost like, well, you know, people are not going to do what they do, and you just have to find the right people. You know, it's almost an acceptance of the situation, and there's nothing that you can do about it. That's what my observation is so far.
Yes, because I think the questions were so vague, even though those are the questions generally I use for market research, but I thought that you will be able to read through that information according to what we were going through, the emotional status and so on and so forth, to be able to create the chart. But now I'm reversing engineering. I'm taking you through the chart so you can understand what they're answering here, because this is only surface level what they're telling you. And when you ask these questions, because I thought you will be able to go through this and understand, you know, all these emotional triggers we were going through, so you will be able to fill in the chart. But let's make things even more simple. So ask to gather some information, to ask a few questions. Ask if you can. Few questions. Because you are doing this, you know, product, you're putting together a training and you want to ask some questions. I will let you complete it, so not to, you know, write everything.
Yeah, well, I'll go back over. If you send me the recording, I'll go back over and type it up, so you don't have to do it now.
Ask for permission to ask some financial related questions.
And this is once I get them on the call, right? This is not in.
No, it's in Messenger. It's
in
already Messenger. You don't even have to go on a call if you do this correctly. Like, you can ask them, and if they say like, yes, I'm open, and you say like, what do you prefer, a call or Messenger? They will tell you. If it's on the call, you follow the same process. If it's on Messenger, you follow the same process. Make sense? Yeah?
Yeah.
Then you ask what they want to achieve in 3 months from now, right? In financially. And then where the business is right now. You look for that gap, right?
Yeah.
So now you want to ask, what do you personally feel is missing? Right? Now you're identifying. And then you will say, they will tell you what are the problems, and you say like, which one of these is most urgent to you? And then you're gonna ask, what was the next question I said between the impact and the urgency? What is the reason?
The cause,
the reason, yes, the reason for this, for that problem. If they have the reason, right? You formulate this with all these softeners we were using in the beginning. Can you help me understand? If I could understand this, can you help me, you know, and give me information, whatever. That. All right. So then, can you tell me the impact of that problem in terms of time, relationship, health, and wealth? Achieve in 3 months, relationship. My God, how I write. And then you're gonna ask them the cost of cost financially of not solving their problem. And then you will say that you will Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So you're gonna tell them, you will get back to them with the research info and present them a framework that will help them solve those problems. And that will be your sales call with them. When you go back to them, when you say like, hey, I made this research, I found out, you know, like this problem being repetitive, and I found a framework how to solve it. Do you want to see it? They will say, yes, I want to see it. And then we're gonna work through your sales call, and the way you're gonna dive into these problems and say, hey, you told me this, you told me that, you told me this and that. And then you say like, this is the framework, but you're not gonna give the details. You're gonna give the what and the why is that important. And then you say like, and then you're gonna ask if they're open to, you know, like to work with you. But then until then they are sold, because they have seen the cost of not solving the problem. They already know.
Yeah.
Make sense?
So yeah, no, but I mean, once again, so I'm going to send exactly what you've got written down here is what I'm asking in the messenger straight away.
You're going to ask them where they want to go. If they say, yes, sure, I will answer some questions, you will say, would you like us to book 30 minutes to speak, or you
right? So I asked the first, so I asked the first 2 questions first.
Yes, yes.
separately?
So you connect with someone, you say like, hey, Tamara, I see you in network marketing, or are you in network marketing? Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Before even asking about network marketing, there is a frog formula: family, occupation, recreation, goals. But you don't have to follow that, because if not, you will get lost if you want to have 50 conversations per day. So you can start like, hey, Tamara, I see you in Switzerland. How are things there? Wow, that's awesome. Thanks for connecting, blah, blah, blah. Hey, what is it that you're doing here online? I'm in network marketing. Wow, that's
Right, but
fantastic.
I'm thanking them for connecting, but they haven't connected yet because I'm sending this out cold.
No, you don't send messages. You don't send cold messages. People ignore cold messages. You want to connect with them and say like, hey, I found you in this network marketing group. How are you today? And they will be curious why you found them in a network marketing group, and they will go back because they think they can sell you the product most of the time. And you say,
okay, so now I don't understand what cold means. I don't understand the distinction of cold. If I find someone, if I see your name in a network marketing group on because you liked a question or you liked an answer or you liked a post, and I send this to you and I say, I saw you in the group, that's not cold?
Well, yes, it is, but it's not, but you already requested them as a friend. You can go and like a couple of photos on their image if you see that they're active. If their profile is off and it's not beautiful and it's not showing you that they're active, you don't want to waste your time.
Yeah, well, when I go to a lot of the profiles are just, they don't seem to say anything about their business. They seem to be more about families or general subjects. So that one of the challenges that, you know, I've been to many of them. I wouldn't say hundreds, but tens and tens of them, and I'm looking for something to agree. So I do say something or make a comment or try to add a comment, and then I get liked on that. So once they've responded back to me, then I send them something, and then they just don't respond. It's like we never even spoke.
Well, that's Facebook, Peter. There is like thousands and thousands and thousands wannabes, and only a smaller percentage of people who are really serious about their business. And your goal is, the more you work on this, the more you will find those people who are serious about making their business work. And it's a number game, like in everything. It's, you know, when you're building your way up, like you can pay for ads. You will spend thousands and thousands of dollars, and you still need to qualify these people. So now you can do that for free on your social media and qualify these people, understand who they are, why they're going to buy from you, put your offer in place. So when we're going to promote the offer, this type of people, you will speak their language. These people who are already ready to buy from you, who are already looking for solutions to move from $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 per month to $10,000 per month. Those, you will speak their language because you're in their skin, you're in their shoes. Right? When they tell you, well, I have to keep my daughter in a kindergarten, I don't have time with them, I don't see them when they go to bed, I don't see them when they get up, I'm all the time in front of the computer. Those problems you can solve if you give them a system that is more productive and so on and so forth, right? So now you speak their language. When we create that content for them, that plan, then they will be attracted to you because you speak their language and they have told you, and you did that for free. Right? But why I want you to do this process is because you are the one who needs to connect with them. I know my audience, right? So it's not going to be easy. This is the most tedious part of the offer.
Yeah, that's fine. So what I like to do is I would like to retype. First I'm going to have some breakfast.
Sure, yes, yeah.
Then I'm going to retype. If you can send me the recording, I'll go over the recording. I'll get clear in my head, and I will set my strategy out, and I will send it to you before I even start doing any work. And then if you can see that I'm on the right track, and if I'm not and say yes, go ahead. And if I'm not on the right track, then you can pull me back on the right track. And then this way I feel I can be, because I don't have a problem putting in the work, but now I want to zero the work.
We need to narrow it down now.
Narrow it down, exactly.
Yes.
So that's what I want to do. So and get this report, because I really want to get those answers filled in.
I definitely know 100%. I thought from the process we went through of understanding the human needs and the wants and the motivators, and asking those questions that give you a wider knowledge of the situation of the market, you will be able to extract the essence to fill in the chart. But I see that here is where you needed me to help you to really reverse engineer the process, because if not, you would lost yourself in so many vague questions.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a massive, I mean, it's a massive undertaking, but it's also a new system for me in this specific, very, very specific questioning, where you're not just looking to find out, you're looking to find out to get a specific answer.
Yes.
In a way, so that rather than just an, like regular question. So that's fine. It's new, and I understand there's a learning curve, and I feel that I'm a long way further down than I was 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. So
yes,
yeah, and I'll be further along by the end of next week, but I'll do that. So let's do that. If you send me the recording,
I will. Yes,
I will listen to it again. I'll take notes. I can stop it and transcribe what I need to transcribe. And then I can print out what I need to print out, and I'll send you my approach.
Yes.
Which I would like, if you can approve or not, or suggest changes.
Yes, definitely. And only stick to these questions. Don't add anything. Don't remove anything. No. These questions will give you the essence. Just the approach, how you're gonna approach these people, and how you're gonna formulate the question. Maybe because I just put the essence of the question, not the old fancy phrase of sounding really, with not sounding cold and like interrogating someone.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
How do you feel about this, Peter? Challenged?
I'm feeling good. I'm looking forward to getting on with it. I want to work. I want to get on with it and get it done. I have so many things to do in my day, but I need to get the work done first. Well, my health first, and then the work. So I do exercise first, and then I do the work. And
I will send you this recording while you're setting your routines in place, and then you can attack this when you're ready during the day.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you very much, Tamara. You have a great day. Have a great week.
You too. Talk to you soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.